long time and is probably going to be in jail the rest of his life. We hope not, but who knows. And so he said to my son one day, you have no idea how lucky you are that you have someone who will send you cards, because he has no one. Everybody in his family has dropped him from their life. They don't call, they don't send money, they don't write. They've just written him out of their life. And, you know, we all make mistakes. He's in jail for a reason. I'm not disputing that, but he's still a person that needs to know somebody cares. So I said, sure, I'll send him a card. So I said, you know, Ben, you may know some other guys in prison who just need somebody to say, I care. So he gave me 8 names of guys who he knew personally. And I put them in my contact manager, and in my groups I have one called Inmates. And so I designed, like St. Patrick's Day, different times of the year, I'll send a card to those inmates. I've heard back from 6 of them, thanking me for remembering them. But the one that made the most impact was his cellmate. His name is Vito, that's his nickname. And shortly after he got my first card, he sent me a 5-page letter, very similar to this letter, front and back. And it poured out his heart. This isn't it, this is the one I got yesterday. But he poured out his heart to me that in prison you can't tell people how you feel because then you're vulnerable. And you have to always be protecting yourself. So to have someone who he could write to, and he could say anything he wanted to say, and how he felt, and not be judged, or not be, you know, persecuted or worried in jail about what was happening. So we began a friendship through letters. The first letter we got, my husband said, are you sure you should write it back? And I said, well, I don't know. So I read him the letter that we got, the first letter, and he's like, well, you got to write him back. And so we did. And so we write it from, I write the letters, and I sign both of our names, and it's from Mark and I. And so he sends us, we get a minimum 2 letters a week. I wish I could say that I write to him just as much. I don't. I can't. I don't have a lifestyle that I can spend that much time, but I can send cards quickly. So I send him probably 1 to 2 cards, at least 1 a week, sometimes 2. And he shows them to people, and he's just, it makes his day that he gets a card because he knows somebody cares. And he writes to me so often and says to me, you and Mark and Ben are the only people I have in my life. I'm sorry. So they're going to move him to a different prison. And I got this yesterday. And it's just like he knew that I needed to read this to you. It says, once I get to where I'm going, I will again send you some visit forms, just in case you might be passing through wherever I may end up. I would sure love to finally see you guys in person and give you all a big hug for all you have done for me. You have really helped me with a lot of changes in which I feel like my life is more important and worth living since you all have come into my life. I feel that my life has a purpose because I have something to look forward to rather than how I was feeling before you all came into my life. You have given my heart a reason to smile and face each day with that feeling in my heart, and that past emptiness is gone. Melinda, I really feel there is a reason for everything in this lifetime, and there was a serious person in how and why we began to write to each other. The thing that I really look forward to is to finally spend some time with you guys once I get a chance at freedom. By keeping those positive vibes going, I am confident that it won't be too long before I see some changes come about and I win my freedom again. And he asked me to send him a book, and so, you know, you have to have Barnes & Noble send the book because you can't mail him anything except a letter. And so he has really changed his religious thoughts, and he read the book The Secret, and he wanted that book. And so he said, as I said before, I depend upon that ask, believe, receive mantra that I have adopted into my life now. He says, do you still save all of the letters that I have written to you? Which I have. It's about this tall. I really can't imagine how many letters I have written to you in the past 2 years, but I'm thinking you could probably fill a box or 2 with them. My biggest enjoyment is writing my letters and thoughts to you, knowing that my letters are enjoyed as much as the letters I receive from you also. I am flattered when you say that my letters are the first letters that you open. However, I only hope that I can keep my letters to you interesting enough and not sound repetitions. And then he goes on. But anyway, it's, you know, I told this story at my BNI group and on a prompting when I did my 10-minute presentation, and there was not a dry eye in my BNI, and it's mostly men, which was something. And what I said to them was, I held up the letter, the very first letter that I wrote to him, and I said, if you think that sending one card does not change someone's life, this is my proof that it does. And so, and I had a stack of letters to show. So, you know, people are coming to your life for a reason. You may not know why. You may not know why you met someone that you met, but you may have an impact on them that you have no idea. And so that's my send-out card story.